All right, good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Before we get to New Mexico State, I wanted to start with I want to kind of finish the discussion we were having on Saturday after the game, and then I'll move on. A couple notes. Very disappointed in the loss on Saturday. It's a game we lost because we didn't coach or play well enough. I think that was obvious. I think the story of the game, if you look at statistics, is we had 4 turnovers, they had 0. And we're going to have a hard time winning in our league with that type of turnover margin differential. I'm disappointed for our fans, disappointed for our students especially, losing on homecoming. But this is the point I want to make, and I said this after the game, is I'm absolutely not discouraged. I'm proud to be here. I know our future's bright. And the two things, I thought a couple questions that were asked and were kind of leading us down a couple things. I want to make it real clear is I'm never going to blame Coach Blakeney or anybody on the previous staff or any decisions they made. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm never going to throw our kids under the bus. All right, they're trying, they're playing hard, they're doing what we're asking them to do. We got issues just like anybody else, but we're going to be a no-excuse operation. You're not going to hear any excuses from our kids. You're not going to hear any excuses from our players. We've had multiple opportunities to win our 2 conference games. And I think turnovers is probably the number one indicator why we haven't won them, but we've been in them. We've been competitive. We've actually been competitive in every game other than the first quarter of Mississippi State. There's a process and a plan in place. And this process is, fortunate or unfortunately, went through it basically 2 years ago, in 2013 at Kentucky. And, you can see kind of where Kentucky's now, where they had opportunities. I think they're 4-2 with 2 really close losses to Florida and Auburn. But I've been through it, and there's a process in place. We're not going to differentiate from our process. I believe in it. I know where it's going to take us. It's going to take us back to where everybody associated with this program wants it to be, and it may take a little time. That's the truth. It may take a little patience. And here's the other thing that I want to make sure we're clear is I've got a lot of calls, a lot of texts over the last few days. I'm absolutely fine. It's funny when you go home and you got an 18-month and a 4-year-old. They have no clue what's going on. My 7-year-old's starting to figure it out, but those 2 have no idea. So there's not much time for feeling sorry for yourself in my house. And but here's the thing: is I'm not going to be miserable. I'm not going to walk in here pissed off because of what happened on Saturday afternoon. I don't like it, but I'm in a mode of getting us better. I refuse to let our staff, our players, not going to be miserable. I'm not going to allow them to walk around with their heads down because we lost a game. It's a game. There's people that go through real struggles. Some of our kids are going through real struggles that have nothing to do with a game. So while I appreciate the calls and texts, I'm doing fine. So I want to make sure that's clear. And our kids and our coach staff are going to do fine. Here's the thing is I'm less worried about outcomes at this stature. And y'all hear me say this a lot, and I'm not. Do we go in with a plan to win every game? Absolutely yes. Am I frustrated that we haven't won some of the games that we've been in? Absolutely yes. Am I frustrated that we're 1-5 and hadn't won a conference game? Yes. The answer is yes. That's a logical answer. But I'm not discouraged, and we're not going to be miserable. We're going to have fun, and we're going to enjoy the process of getting better. We're going to go out and practice. We're going to have meetings this afternoon. We're going to practice this afternoon. We're going to focus on getting better, and that's what we got to do. Every individual, every coach within our program's got to get better, and those are just some things that I want to get off my chest before we start and talk about New Mexico. New Mexico, I think it's an even matchup, really. Very similar in a lot of ways. I've got a lot of respect for Coach Martin. He's doing it the right way there. They played a ton of young kids last year, and those kids are a year older, and they've added some high school pieces to that. And he's doing it the right way, and they're getting better. They're getting better. I think they're well coached in all 3 phases. They're solid. They're not beating themselves, which I think is important. That's something I feel like that we may have done a little bit is beating ourselves with these turnovers. Offensively, they're a quality unit, and I think they're one of the better units in our conference. The quarterback, he's been out. I'm assuming he's going to be back. I don't know that. Tyler Rogers, he's a big kid, very accurate, leads their offense. He's smart. Got a good feel for the game. The running back's probably their best player on their football team. Larry Rose, been really productive. And the thing that sticks out to me, and maybe this is because this is something that we're struggling with, is I think he has over 700 yards rushing. He only has 23 yards of negative rushing. and that's important on a lot of carries. You know, you look at some of our guys or our team overall, that's one of our issues is we've had too many negative yardage plays. You know, when we call a run play, it's gone for negative yardage, and that can't happen. And I think that's a stat that really sticks out, that he's putting his foot in the ground and he's getting vertical and he's not having negative plays. He's a threat to take the distance. They're solid up front. Big, long guys that are solid. And like I said, they've moved the ball against everybody. They had a little difficulty against Ole Miss, but other than that, you know, Ole Miss has at least one first-rounder and a couple other guys that are pretty doggone good too. So defensively, they're improved over a year ago. The kid that sticks out to me that I think is really their leader, I think he's a solid tackler. He's tackling Florida and Ole Miss in space, is their safety, Jaden Wright. And they've gotten good push in the middle, and that's been an issue for us. That's where we've had some really struggles. And then special teams wise, they've done a nice job. They've got a punt returner that's had a couple returns, none for touchdowns, and then their punter Anthony Torres has been solid all the way through. So good matchup. We're looking forward to going cross country and playing out in Las Cruces. So with that, questions.
That's 2 straight games where you guys have came out a little bit flat, picked it up in the second half. Is that due to lack of energy, or is that just...
Well, I don't like the way we've warmed up. You know, I think our kids are a little tense. You know, and I don't know what it is, you know, maybe we need to, I don't know, have to look at our pregame warm-ups. That's something that we actually talked about this morning as a coach staff. Let's not get, against Mississippi State, we didn't come out flat. We just got whipped. All right, there's a difference. You know what I mean? Like, they physically got after us. And they whipped us on a screen block. We didn't play it very well. And then They just beat us up front and on that touchdown. Against Idaho, we didn't come out with the amount of energy. We got lined up on the wrong we got a line wrong on the very first play on defense. You know, that should never happen. We got it lined up wrong. Offensively, we had a good first drive and then we had a negative run. You know, and if you look at some of the bad drives we've had, it's been because of a negative rush. But we've got to look at our pregame. That's what I told our coach today. I want to evaluate how we're doing pregame warm-ups because I don't feel like we had a lot of energy at the start, and that's something that we can definitely improve on.
What's the quarterback situation like going into this week?
Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. Is that the answer you're looking for? No, it's an answer. Brandon is progressing. You know, it's Dallas came in the second half and sparked us. We actually looked like a good offensive football team for about the last quarter and a half there, and that was encouraging. We actually threw the ball and caught it and protected the passer, and we missed some opportunities. We dropped 2 touchdown passes, so that's never a good thing. But Brandon is I'm hopeful, confident, you know, that he's going to practice. He's going to practice this week. Dallas came in and did some good things. And what I think happened with Dontrell, he did a nice job of managing the game. And then I don't think he ever overcame mentally the first interception that got tipped. He didn't play the same way after that.
With some of those negative runs, is it just because teams are blitzing at the right spot, or you don't?
No, it's well, I mean, give some credit to them. You know, our communication hadn't been great there. It's always a collective, all right. In most of our run plays have things on the perimeter where the quarterback can get it out of his hand. So the quarterback hadn't gotten us out of some bad run plays. Some of them have been some bad calls. Some of them have been a lack of communication up front, and then some of the times the running back's got to. You know, our philosophy is running the football is it should always be a 0 gain at the worst, and our running back's got to buy into that, and they've got to be able to stick their foot in the ground rather than trying to make a big play. You know, and I think sometimes some of our better players or skill guys feel like, you know, especially when things aren't going exactly right, that they got to press, you know, make a big play every time, which is not the case, especially in the run game. Hey, they played it. Let's stick our foot in the ground. Let's get vertical. No gain. Let's play second or third down, okay?
Teddy's got 30 receptions. I think the closest receiver to him has 11. How do you kind of spread out the wealth and make sure some of these other guys get involved?
Well, they got to get open. Yeah, they got to get open, and they got to make plays when the ball's thrown to them. A lot of it is we got to win versus man coverage. And then we're going to continue to try to get Teddy the ball because he deserves it, and he's our best receiver right now. But we do have to spread the wealth, you know, and honestly, we haven't thrown the ball great. You know, we haven't played catch great. And there's a lot of reasons behind that too. But we need to get Brian Holmes going. You know, he played the whole game the other day, and and I think he had one catch. He dropped one in the end zone. But we've got to get him going. I was encouraged by Jarvis Bentley. Thought he made some good plays. Really good fourth down conversion. Hung on the ball, got hit. We've got to get, DeAndre Douglas. He's a guy that can make plays. And we got to get him. There's some other guys that can make plays for us. It was encouraging to see Emmanuel Thompson go up and get that go ball. So there's some guys that we need to get more involved for sure.